All right. Mira, do you want to put me on? Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Saveen. So we can get started, Mira? Perfectly okay?
Perfectly okay, sir. We can begin with it.
Okay. All right. Uh, this is going to be a great session for you. Thank you for joining this Career in Psychology program. And I promise you, by end of this program, you're going to learn a lot. In fact, we will ensure that by end of this program, I can help you assure that what domain of psychology is suitable for you, where are the opportunity in psychology, what are the skills required to you, where you can try um, private sector, government sector, how is the job like outside. So I can tell you, being a psychologist myself for 10 years, and I can, working with the top MNCs in corporate, I can tell you that it's an amazing opportunity out there. Psychology is booming gradually in India, and the opportunity that we have in psychology is not known to a lot of people. It's starting from metro cities, but because of some norms of the government, education industry has started opening the door. Private sector has started opening the door. Okay, and that's how this has started happening. So let me quickly tell you how it works. But before I tell you, I know and you know that most of people who choose psychology, they choose psychology because there's a certain passion they have, right? The interest, fascination that they have. That's one of the reasons people choose psychology. But I know and you know that all of us, all of us who have chosen psychology ultimately wants to make a career out of it. But it's very interesting that if you do not know the opportunity and you don't have the guidelines, and I will tell you the power of guidelines. And the story goes by there was a family. In family, it was a wife, husband, wife, and a small kid. So the old times, what used to happen, if all the living resources are finished, people would move from one place to another, not like now. So they didn't have a choice to create or farm. They wouldn't do all this. So if the water is gone or water is not available any longer, or maybe the living resources are finished, everybody would move out to another place, the entire village. So wife said that no, I don't want to move out because I have a small kid, and it'll be very difficult for me. Can we find out if we can dig a well, and then we can maybe find some water. We can stay here only. We don't have to move. We don't have to go from here. Husband said that'll be very difficult. Now they started. Husband, wife said that why don't you try this once? If we do not find any water, so why don't you dig? Dig maybe nearby the pond where we live. If you dig and you find some water, we can live it permanently here. There is no problem. Husband promised that I will only try for 1 week. In 1 week, if the water doesn't come, that we'll move. Wife agreed. Husband tried 5 days, I mean entire week. So every day he would go dig and come back disappointed because there wouldn't be water. What happened in the end? Wife, it was very, very hard for wife to believe that even after working so much, there was no result. She was very disappointed, and she asked husband that, is it possible that you can show me the place where you were digging and still there was no water? Well, husband for a moment asked, why? Don't you believe me? She says, yeah, I believe you. But I can't digest the fact the how after working so hard, still there can be no result. It's not possible. Husband said, it is possible. Because I have been going out every day, digging every day, but I didn't find any water. When they were moving away, moving out from the village, when husband showed his wife, you see, this is the place I used to dig. And all of a sudden, wife started laughing because what she saw made her laugh inside. I mean, made her laugh in a way that how much you can be lost without guidelines. So what husband did, he was digging, he dug 10 feet at 5 different places. So Monday he started at one place and it did not have water. Tuesday he started at another place, digging another place. Wednesday another place. This is how. The wife said, only if you had dug one place, there would be 50 feet. So if you have dug 50 feet, it was impossible not to have water. Idea is, no matter how much hard work you do, how much qualification you have, without the guidelines, there is a 100% chance that you can be lost. That's why career becomes very important, mentoring becomes very important, guiding becomes very important, because without the guidelines, everybody get lost. Now we have a tie of more than 22 colleges, and I can tell you the story of students and professors and faculties there. So when you are in college, the entire focus is on studying, getting a good degree, good marks. But when you come outside of your education, so the life starts when you finish your education. Life doesn't finish. It only starts when you graduate or when you have done your master. But the actual struggle starts when we, as a psychology company, realized that even after having a good degree, good marks, learning from a great university, mentored by great professors, still students have to struggle a lot. And what is the reason? I've been working with the top MNCs company, either full-time as a consultant like Dell, IBM, HCL, as a psychologist, training manager, and I can tell you, the truth is, we have education, but we don't have skills. Now, to work anywhere, you need skills. So let me tell you what you need to have for a complete career in psychology. So where are the opportunity first? So there are 3 places you can find opportunity. There are 3 areas. First is you can find opportunity in the government jobs that you may not have enough. Because psychology is still taking up its life in India, so it's coming gradually. You can have opportunity in private sector, and there's a lot of opportunity there, right? Or what you can do, some people who may not have, some people who may not want to have an opportunity or may not want to work in the private sectors, they want to start something of their own. You can also do that. So that India is gradually also becoming an entrepreneurial country, kind of. Everybody is trying to set up a business. Everybody is, being self-employed. So 3 opportunity that you have: government jobs, private jobs, self-employment. Now, I would love to hear that. What it is that you are thinking right now. So can you write in the chat box? So you have a chat box open so that I can get an idea. If you had an opportunity, how you're planning your future right now? Are you planning to get into a government job as a psychologist or a counselor, or you're trying to get a private job, maybe working with the big private firms because they all have started hiring, or you will be self-employed? What is it that you're targeting right now? You have a chat box open and you can start typing. It will give me an idea that what's your favorite? What is it that you're targeting right now? Private job, government job, or you're planning something self-employment? So meanwhile, you do that. Government job, okay, okay. Yeah, you can all go typing. It'll give me an idea, and I can help you accordingly. I can tell you more opportunity where we have and how much you have. Private, your government, here. Okay, okay. All right. Yes, please everyone, go typing whatever you think is going to be something that you are planning in your life: government, private, or self-employment. Let's see how you go. But meanwhile, I continue. So you understand that government does not have a lot of opportunity. Private has a lot of opportunity, right? Yeah, NGO sounds promising, or self-employment, yes, it does. So government may not have a lot of opportunity right now, but the private job, you know that private companies decide the country GDP, right? Private company decide the economy of a country. So because they are business people, they have a lot of money. Corporate has a lot of money. So you can understand the standard of living changes immediately the moment you choose private sector, because it's very, very different. Self-employment is another amazing thing that people can do and people are doing. In fact, a lot of people are leaving a high paying job in private sector. They're leaving Google, they're leaving Tesla, they're leaving all great companies and starting something of their own. So there is a great opportunity you see there, right? Undoubtedly, undoubtedly. But the question is here, imagine that you have graduated or you have done your master. You go for an interview to a private sector, to a private company, and the private company is offering amazing. So you know the government has made it mandatory for all schools to have a counselor. So you have there's a lot of openings. All the schools are opening a space for a counselor. So as psychology students, imagine that every education sector is welcoming you. So it has an immediate opportunity now. But not only that, it doesn't matter you have done your engineering or you have not spent 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs in you doing a MBA from a great college, doesn't matter. Every private company is inviting and offering the opportunity for a counselor, because people have started realizing the power of mental health, the importance of mental health. Great opportunity there. Emometrics is a psychology consulting company. We work on a different level. We work on a consumer behavior analysis, sales behavior analysis, with organizational behavior analysis. But so in three psychology domain that you have, major three: counseling psychology, clinical psychology, and organizational psychology. Now, understand the viability of it. Counseling is evergreen, it's universal. Either you want to open or you want to be self-employed and you want to serve any other person, any person in the world, whole world is your client. That's the beauty of counseling. Clinical, you have more opportunity in hospital setups, right? Organizational, you have opportunity to every organization. But the beauty of counseling is that you can work in a hospital, you can work one-to-one with anyone, any audience. You can work with private sectors, you can work with schools, you can work anywhere, everywhere. So that's a great opportunity that you have. You can work with NGO, you can work with anywhere that you want to work. It's universal because technically, even in organizational psychology, you end up doing employee counseling. That's also a part of there, right? Um, so you will find in NGO in day to day. So counseling is evergreen. Clinical requires clinical psychology has more opportunity in the government sectors, or I would say hospitals mostly, because we have almost 200 plus clinical psychologists working with us, and most of them, I think almost all of them, work in hospitals, right? Organizational psychology. So either you have a counseling or organizational. Private companies and corporate is open for you. They invite. Google pays their employees 10,000 rupees per month as a reimbursement if you want to avail for employee wellness. So you have availed any of the therapy services or any counseling services or any stress management services, anything that you have availed, that's a reimbursement that they pay. And right now, all companies, I know the hundreds of, to begin with, Fortune 500 companies, they have started welcoming counselors. There was a time they did not have HR people separately. There was a time they did not have training people separately, but now they have. Now they have. So and it's a high paying job. Now let's understand what kind of challenges you will have when you will apply for the job. Number one, you know how business works. So business people are very calculative, very number driven, right? When you reach out, imagine that you have gone out for the interview, as in, opening for a counselor or employee counselor. How would the conversation look like or sound like? The conversation would look like or sound like this. So we'll go and you start. Imagine if I'm one of the candidates, I'll say, "Hi, good afternoon. My name is Suveen. I have done my master in psychology from this university. I was one of the toppers. I was the toppers in my first semester, or maybe second semester, or maybe I was at the sixth number. So whatever, you have a great score, and this is what you mentioned in your talk. Now, do you really think they will offer you the opportunity? No, because all you have is education. But the question is, without education, you can't even start. So there are three important things you must have a great counseling career or career in psychology. First, you need a formal education, because without formal education, you can't do it. You just can't do it. You might be thinking, well, that's easy. I'm already doing my formal education. Well, no. The importance of formal education is known by people who do not have it. So they have skills, they have excellent skills of counseling, they have excellent counseling skills. But since they do not have formal education, they can't practice it. So the biggest roadblock and the biggest eligibility factor to practice as a psychologist or a counselor is to have a formal education. And congratulations, you already are doing it. So your eligibility criteria is taken care of. So, all right, you're qualified to apply now. But when you start, when you go to interview, generally, private companies asks that, have you done this before? Have you counseled before? Like, no, I'm sorry, I'm a fresher. You know why private company hesitate hiring fresher? Private companies hesitate hiring fresher. Why? Because there are a few reasons. When you say a company that I do not have experience, and this is a dilemma, try to understand that. You are saying that you do not have experience, and you cannot have experience unless they give you a job. And they said that unless you have experience, how can I give you a job? Because I can train you and teach you. Let's say if you say that, well, I can learn. And they can say that, and they say that we are not a training institute. If I pay you, I need to know that you're impacting our business. You're impacting our employees. You know, you are taking care of employees' mental health. So have you done this? So one of the biggest problem that I have noticed and I have seen is that people do not have skills. Students, and how can they have? So this skill gap is what we are trying to fill as an Emometrics. Like get a formal education from a great college, and then get a skill training. Learn how it is done, either in the form of internship or the other masterclass certifications that you can do. End-to-end skill training. Know how it starts, know how it continues, know how do you finish it. So we have three levels of if you do certifications of masterclass, or you can do internship. So our entire idea is to give you the practical exposure so that when you start looking for opportunity, when you have an opportunity finally, you don't get lost and you don't lose this opportunity. Because you know that, for example, so first thing is you got a formal education. Second is how would this interview be different? Think about it. Let's say that you are a part of the interview, you're interviewing and you say, hi, my name is Suveen. I have done my master in clinical psychology or counseling psychology. And this is my education. This is where I have finished my master. And I not only have the great education, but at the same time, I have been working under a clinical psychologist, and I have practical exposure. I have practical counseling training. I received for 3 months 2 months, 1 month, 5 months, 6 months, as and when you can say. And I have learned all the skills that is used. Even though I'm fresher, I literally know how it is done. Instead of you trusting me, why don't you give me an opportunity to consult one of your employees? If they like my feedback, if my work, if you get a great feedback, hire me. That's the confidence that you should have. But you can only have this confidence if you have done it or somebody has mentored you. Only then you can do that. That's what we do. We train you on all counseling skills. And whenever you go for an interview, you not only perform the great counseling skills that you have, but what else you also, if even if they call us to verify about your perform, how you have been doing with us, of course, we put a great reviews and feedback for you as a psychology company. So that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to offer you these skills, either it's organizational, clinical, or counseling, so that you should have that practical exposure. That this is how it is done, this is how it looks. I have done it before. I have learned by my mistakes and everything. That's the whole idea. But imagine, let's say if you have a skills, right? So the reason why I say the why private company hesitate hiring freshers, because they see that they are new, they do not have experience. It will be more of an experiment. But the truth is, private company may hesitate to hire freshers, but they want to hire freshers. Why? There are many reasons to it. What happens? They're business people. Freshers come in a much less salary than the experienced people do. They might hire two freshers in one salary, what they're going to pay to experienced people. Plus, freshers are creative, they are passionate. And you know that 50% of employment to any company is absolutely and absolutely young. So you know that young people can easily connect with young people. But if the company hires someone with 10 years or 20 years experience, what happens is there's a cultural gap, there's a language gap, experience gap, and they just simply don't connect. Since they simply don't connect, the employees are never happy. And if employees are never happy from a counselor, what is the use? So they want to hire fresher because they're flexible, they're ready to do anything, they're ready to create. They don't have that ego, they don't have that fixed philosophy in mind. They're ready to start, ready to explore, ready to work hard. So they want to hire fresher, but the number one reason they don't hire fresher because they don't have any experience. And what they say, they go and get experience from somewhere. Once you have experience, come back. But who want to give the opportunity? Who want to entertain and experiment fresher? But that's why we came in the picture. So our idea and job is to train a fresher, so much so, either through internship or masterclass, so that they feel super confident, as confident as any experienced person out there. So I don't only have a great education, but I can do exactly what you can do. And I come in a much less price. I'm friendly, I'm flexible. Try me. But that's the confidence that you require. That's what we do. But one last thing, like I said, to have a successful career in psychology, you need three things: formal education, technical skills, and business skills, right? Now you must be thinking, why business skills? We're not an MBA students. The idea is companies works on revenue. You can grab a company's attention immediately if you talk about revenue. If you don't talk about revenue, if you don't talk about impact, there is a term used in corporate called ROI, return on investment. So how much they invested in you, let's say they invested in you 6 lakhs per year. They invested in you 6 lakhs per year. The idea is, just give me one quick second, please. So imagine they invested in you 6 lakhs per year. Imagine, just think about this. They would like to know, okay, what is the return on investment, right? That's something they would like to know. Now, what you're going to do this. So to know the return on investment, it becomes super important, super important for you. That how do you connect with business, right? And once you figure out how you connect with business, only then things work. So let's take another example. That you're sitting, you're part of one of the meetings, and you can simply maybe say, hi, my name is Suveen. So I have joined this organization as a psychologist 2 months ago. When I joined here, I literally wanted to impact and show the what is the work that I have done, right? So you can simply say, let's say there are 500 employees in a company. You ran a survey to every employee and you asked a simple question just to understand what is their motivation level, just to understand how much hard work, how much work they're putting, what is the efficiency level. Let's say that this is what you're wondering. Now, what technically happens is um, it's a very unique thing. You can show them, let's say you have shown them that out of 500 employees, 250 employees, 50% employees are not even motivated. You know for the fact that if employees are not motivated, the performance level has to be low. It's a proven record. There's no doubt about this. So when the performance level has to be low, the truth is, you can go and say that, what if I increase the 10% of the performance that you have? How would that be like? Even the 10%, as low as 10%. Even if you increase 10% of the performance, in total, you have increased 2005% of 250 employees. Now, if you convert that 205% performance level, you can convert that into revenue. And let's say if you give a benefit of 50 lakhs to a company, can you just imagine that how much you're giving anyway? And that's how you show. So if you do not have business skills, you do not know how to convert the business, how to create the business case, it becomes very difficult for a company. They just can't do it. So I told you, to have a successful career in psychology, you need formal education, you need technical skills, and you need business skills. Even if you try in self-employment, think about it, you have a great education, you have all the technical skills too, but you don't know the business skills. How would you be a self-employed? Then the dream only remains a hobby. Because even if you start, and I know for the fact most of you who have chosen psychology have fought at home, no, I will take psychology, because I'm sure most of your parents, guardians must have asked you, why psychology? You should have chosen this. I know for sure that you have fought at home. But the idea is simple, that if you do not learn the business skills, there is no way you're going to do anything with this, right? So I would say that you already have, congratulations, you already have formal education. All you need is the technical skills that we can offer you, Emometrics. We can do a sign up. We, of course, will speak with the management and we can do everything, and we can offer you those practical skills, either in a form of masterclass. Masterclass is an amazing thing, amazing thing. If you are really, and this is one of the courses designed by hundreds of psychologists, and it's a guarantee that once you be a part of that masterclass, I can tell you that there is no looking back. Whatever domain of psychology you choose, everything possibly there is in that domain to help you get a job is there. So clinical, counseling, organizational, anything that you choose, it's all yours. That's all I have. Thank you very much. If you have any more questions, please, I'll be happy to answer. Any question anyone has, I'll be happy to answer.
Hello, am I audible?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm afraid I'm unable to put on my camera because we have some network issue this side of India. Right. I'm the department in charge. Myself, I'm Dr. Wati. And The purpose of this, program is that we need to have little more clarity on the career that we can pursue by, studying through psychology. One thing that many students have questions about right now, some of them have finished their undergraduate, some have done their masters in psychology and counseling.
Uh-huh.
Some of them are in research as well, like in the audience.
Okay.
So the point here is, given the context that we come from, which is a northeast part of India, where private sector is, a huge hue and cry in this part of the country. And the most difficult part is when it comes to psychology, right now, especially for undergraduate students, they are in a dilemma. Like they have graduated, they're now in a dilemma whether they should go for industrial, counseling or clinical, and they want to know what are the best options. For example, you said for clinical, most probably they might end up in hospitals, which is much more suitable place and all that. But at the same time, is there any other suggestions or options that you can also suggest for other areas as well? Like industrial, of course, organizational and industrial psychology mostly ends up in MNCs and all these, different sectors where they work, which is very rare in, Nagaland setup. Again, I'm just trying to contextualize on behalf of the students. So most of the contents that you spoke about right now is, kind of far-fetched to understand in the sense where we come from. So I would be very happy if you can also highlight a little more on, there are some students who have also put in the comment box that, they wish to also do private job as well, or even, self-employed. Can you also give some idea of, how would a person basically start a private practice? What is it like? And what is the current rate in practicing a counseling session right now, per session? Of course, it varies from place to place, from experience to experience and all that. Freshers would have much lower, amount to charge, all of that. So there's so many questions hovering around this, this area right now, because I know many of my students right now in the list, I can see that there are some who has graduated already last year, some who are graduating now, who has done masters, in fact, and some are in research as well, pursuing research. So when it comes to career and psychology, we are looking a little more into a concrete direction of where will these students get a direction from, So with your expertise, we are looking forward to hear from you.
Absolutely. And this is a great question. Well, thank you for asking on behalf of students. And you're right. It also depends on what kind of, where you are right now. So I think keeping the context in mind, so self-employment is at its peak right now in India and everywhere, especially in the field of psychology, especially when this COVID happened. It's on peak. And I'll tell you how easy it is. Of course, the minimum education that we require, minimum, is a graduation. You need to be graduate to start helping people for counseling. And counseling is something that you can start with, graduation. After graduation, the idea is always to be a great counselor and start with, master. So master, you can definitely enroll. So I would request all the students who are graduating, definitely do masters. You want to take some time, do that, but do not stop your career, especially in psychology, without mastering, without doing master. That's number one advice. Second is, it's pretty much easy. You require a business understanding. So for a self-employment, you understand, you require even better business understanding. You need to know how social media works. You need to know how advertisement works. You need to know how paid advertisement works, how free advertisement works, how you can enroll, incorporate a company. And the beauty is that we have and we already have figured it out, and we have been helping so many people. We offer you end-to-end solutions. We train you on all those business skills separately. That's how you start, how you should do self-branding, right? Where would you get customers? How much they will pay you in the beginning? What kind of challenges you will have from customer in the beginning? How you can, something that you cannot do, how you can tie up the organization. Like a lot of people who work as a self-employed, they have tie-ups with us. So any cases, any clients, they can handle themselves. What they do, they pass them on to us. And we take care of this. So self-employment is an amazing thing, I must say, especially think about that. The beauty of self-employment, especially working from the comfort at your home, is whole world is your customer, whole world is your client. And you don't have to worry about renting out an office. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about nothing. It's an amazing thing, the most amazing thing I can ever tell you. So if self-employment is something that you're looking at, I can tell you it's an amazing thing. We can guide you, train you literally how to start with, how to continue. We can not only just guide and train you, we can offer you initial support, right? With a continuous, so there are, we have a lot of people as a self-employed working with us. They have a way to book a call. So they want to help in this advertising, they want to help in this, they want to design a curriculum, or they want to do off a counseling session. Sometimes they feel stuck, sometimes they find difficult clients, sometimes they don't know how to capitalize, or sometimes they don't know how to make more referrals, a lot of other things. We come there in a picture. So I think the self-employment is the greatest thing that can happen to you. Yes, I would request, since you are a fresher and you will be fresher to start with, do not literally go after the amount that you are getting. Even if as low as 500 per session is more than enough for you. Because the idea is to build that trust in your client. Idea is to offer that quality service, because in the end, counseling is a service. Psychology is a service. And that is a mistake most of people do. They do not understand that this is service. They think that I have all the credentials and the world will come to me and everybody will come to me. No. People will only come to you once. And once they have figured out that you're not the right person for it, they leave. They will never come back to you. And it's a surprising but truth. And I can tell you, because Emometrics has more than 200 psychologists working with us. And I can tell you, sometimes, in fact, most of the times, and this is very ironic, people who have done master in psychology perform far better than people who have done MPhil and PhD. Is it because they know more? No. They can connect better with the audience and client. That's why. So we will share all our years of experience, 200 psychologists there, me here, all yours, all yours. That's how we can help. Ma'am, do you think I was able to guide them right? Or if you have any other question.
Yeah, I think students from your side, it's quite clear. I think students should have their own, set of questions. I think it's time for the students to take this opportunity to talk to the speaker.
Absolutely.
If not now, then when?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
You can just unmute yourself and please speak to him.
Absolutely. And sometimes it so happens, sometimes people hesitate to ask or something. So that, a few of the education counselors will also be reaching out to you, clearing your queries that you have in case if you have any. So that is also something that, we can do. That's also possible.
Anyone? Students? even freshers, if you have any questions, do you even know why are you doing psychology?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And I always say people that there is a difference between choosing something as a hobby or choosing something as a career. So,
Yeah.
and we are ready to go, and we can discuss more on this, ma'am. How we can really help them shape, and what it is, what else we can support, and what we can offer to them.
Yeah, I think one major takeaway in this, especially which was important for undergraduate students, is that they should not just, if psychology is something they have started digging on, and if they're considering this as their career, then they should not just stop with doing undergraduate program. It's always better to have a master's program. That
Always.
is the minimum requirement, to get employed, or even for yourself to self-employ as well. That unless you have a master's degree in psychology, people will not take your work seriously. I mean, I should just put it that way, in a very simple way.
It is true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. Thank you for saying this, because without the right guidelines, the chances of people, students of getting lost is really high.
Mm,
So it's absolutely true.
right.
In Western countries, since I have worked for 10 years, all international clients, their master degree has a lot of value. But
Exactly.
in India, master degree is okay. It's not.
Yeah. Right.
PhD
Right.
may have some value. And there, if you have done PhD, oh my God, you're someone. And I
Yeah.
know that you check LinkedIn, people who have done PhD, forget about PhD, even master, they write the name Sureen Kumar, MA.
Yeah. Right.
Because they don't do higher education as much as we do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Very true.
yes.
Because the amount of the scrutiny and the intensity of the course that goes in the training is so intense and very, very serious.
True.
I still remember, some of my colleagues who have studied outside there, as you rightly put, um, their masters, which they have done here in India, was still considered as undergraduate. In fact, when they went out, they were asked to do another master's, because the amount of training that has gone in here was not as much as they demand over there. So
100%.
probably that's one reason why masters outside has much more value, and it's considered as the ultra professional in
True.
that sense. Yeah.
True. 100% agree with you, because
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, this is the true. Plus, number of years of experience, number of years also matters. We most of our masters like for 2 years, or maybe for graduation 3 years.
Yeah.
There, it's a different. It's
It
absolutely
is different. Right.
true, ma'am. True.
So when you talk about internships that you offer, can you please highlight what does this internship do?
Right. So for undergrads, I know we have beautifully created an internship called Psychoscience, and Psychoscience consists of all three psychology training. So because in undergrad, people are not even sure, and students are not even sure. So just to discover their passion and to know what exactly they want to make their career in the future, they get the exposure of organizational internship and clinical and counseling. All the three domains are covered in one internship named Psychoscience. But if students want okay, well, I know what I really want to do, and I just want to specialize myself as a counselor. Train me on, train me on these skills. Then we have something different too. If somebody wants, what, I want to be a counselor, or I want to be a clinical psychologist, and I have made up my mind. I'm going to continue my education. Train me end to end. So much so, and so practical, that I do not need to attend any course. We have that. We name it all masterclass. So we have the masterclass is expensive, however, but I think the other internships are not expensive. They're very, very small, but masterclass are only for the students when they 100% know that this is what I want to do. Train me. By the time I finish my, and masterclass is 3 months program, but it's very extensive, very, like you were mentioning, very extensive. Once you do this, you feel like that you have done entire, because that's what we have done in masterclass. We have summarized 2 years or 3 years worth, all the highlights, what they actually do in hospitals, what they actually do as a clinical psychologist, organizational psychologist, or counseling psychologist, end to end. You know so much so that then you feel like, okay, I think I know enough. And but internship, the other internship programs for 1 month, the psychoscience is one that has a combination of all three. And I think, Medha or Varsha can share the brochures and details with the students.
Yes, sir, definitely. As soon as the meeting will end, I'll give ma'am a call and I'll definitely brief her
Okay,
about the same.
okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, please. Yes, please. Any other question that I can answer for you? Okay, ma'am, seems like they do not have a much question now, but I think most of the questions are answered. All the tactical questions are answered, I guess. And I think if they can now, Varsha will get in touch anyway with them. So, in case they have any specific question, individual question, some students may not be able to ask this on the public platform. Sometimes happens, but in that way they can be answered. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
So we call it end here?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And we can meet, ma'am. We can meet, Medha can talk to you and we can meet further on this.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
students.
you.
You all have been brilliant. You all take care and hope to see you soon. All right. Thank
Thank
you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.